The following is a presentation of the Missouri Sports Network.
Hey, hello once again here. Guy Newcomb with the Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. Certainly glad you've tuned in live from the Pizza Ranch studio here. Pizza Ranch hosting our quarterback club, tip-off club, and now it's the leadoff club. And to that end, we're going to talk a little baseball today. We've got Logan Rogersville, head baseball coach Casey Ledl on with us. And Coach, 7-2 on the season, off to a great start, but a lot of expectations.
Absolutely. First of all, thanks for having me, Guy. I appreciate it. We had a tough loss with Nixa against a good Nixa team last night. Man, they were athletic, and they kind of knocked us down a peg last night. But yeah, anytime you win 7 out of 9 of your first games with the schedule we have, we feel pretty fortunate to get there. So.
And Coach, you've got that game last night. You've got Nixa, then you've got Cassville. You're at Forsyth. You're at Mount Vernon. Those are conference games, Marshfield, Hollister. Right now, at this point of the season, you're probably a third of the way through it. What do you feel like you're doing really well as a team right now?
Oh, I think obviously we've got the 3 pitchers, and I think they've got plenty of publicity during this whole deal, and all 3 well deserved. They've been our anchors, but man, we've got a pitching staff that we really feel like are 8 or 10 kids deep. There's not too many times on the mound where we aren't going to be pretty strong. We've hit the ball well at times, although I don't think we've come anywhere close to hitting our stride yet. We hit a ton of balls hard at Nixa last night, and they would just always seem to find somebody. They hit a bunch and didn't seem to find us. And that's kind of how baseball goes, especially this early in the season. But that was a great matchup for last night to kind of gauge where we're at. And even though they got up on us a little bit, our kids kept fighting the whole time. So, I think by the end of the year, and that's always our goal, when you've got teams with some talent like this, you want to make sure that you're ready to go on May 1st and kind of that stretch run going towards those districts and those playoff games.
Coach's mission, kind of changed the rule up where it used to be 18 regular season games, 3 tournaments, or 20 and 2 or whatever it was. Now you're just given a specific amount of games that you can play. How has that changed your scheduling? And what's the advantages to it?
The advantage is pretty simple. You can play as many games as you want, or as many games as you feel like your pitching staff can get you through and make you competitive. It really opened up things to be able to change your scheduling. I don't know that it changed our scheduling a whole lot anyway. Obviously, our Big 8 East is a pretty tough conference, so that's right in the middle of the year, kind of that middle third, as you talked about. But man, our first couple weeks, or we try to play as many Class 5 and Class 6 schools as we can, and we tried to do it again at the end. So I think you had Coach McGee on a little while ago. That's always a great game. We play it on that Thursday right before districts every year because it's a playoff atmosphere no matter which side it's at. And I've known Scotty for a long time, and we're both testing things out. So those games get a little interesting sometimes because we're both trying to find out exactly what we want to do during districts. And I feel like our schedule really gets us ready for that district run.
And Coach, just over the past decade, you go back to maybe the mid 80s, baseball was very strong, mid 80s through the late 80s in Southwest Missouri.
Absolutely.
There was kind of a lull where the power kind of moved to the St. Louis area with the CBCs, the Westminster Christians. Now I kind of feel like over the past decade,
man, you can't say Westminster Christian without bringing back some bad memories.
But I think the power in baseball has kind of moved back to this area of the state with the likes of Logan Rogersville, Willard, Webb City's always being able to put a good team on the field. Mount Vernon's had some runs here, a few years back. Where do you kind of lay the results of that? Why do you think that has occurred?
I think I did an interview last year with Coach McGee and Coach Hartley, and we were in the studio there at the Jock, and we were talking about that. And Scott answered that question. We had made a couple of semifinal runs where we had gotten to the Final Four when I first got here, got up there. Not to say that we didn't compete, but, man, you could tell a difference, and you said Westminster, and they were dang good. But you had a bunch of Cardinal kids on that team, and Scott went up there. They got beat too. Both of us are finishing 3rd and 4th. And then about the last 5 or 6 years, we felt like we could always get there, but we always felt like we were overmatched. And last 5 or 6 years, you're seeing our Southwest Missouri teams go toe-to-toe with anybody in the state. I think that has a lot to do with, obviously, the coaches in this area, what kind of programs they've established. I was laughing about that with Logan Hughes last night because, we have the red and blue, and they're in Springfield, and then we have our L.R. Hollister one this last weekend. So you got a lot of Kansas City, a lot of St. Louis schools that come down. They cannot believe just how well the coaches in this area get along, how much we're all pro Southwest Missouri. And so I think that's a huge difference too. That competition level. I mean, don't get me wrong. We all want to beat the tar out of each other between the lines, but after that, man, it's, hey, what do you do? So I think there's a lot of, coaching camaraderie in this area that doesn't exist in some of those other parts. And I think that right there, combined with just hard work, has really allowed the entire area to take a huge step forward.
And to that end, I kind of can put some of those results on the facility improvements. And you guys are right there at the top of the list, just having moved into your brand new facility. But the facilities at Southwest Missouri enable teams to be outside more often.
They do. And I mean, you look at around the area and you've got several different places on our side, and that's almost become competitive. We're used to have really, really nice grass fields. And now all of a sudden, I remember when Aurora got their infield and Coach Hoffman out there, and we were so jealous of that, going, man, you get to practice those first 2 weeks when we're going inside, outside, worried about this, worried about that. Is it too wet? What kind of turfus do we have to get? And so obviously they just completed our field it's not complete yet, but the field part of it Friday. And man, it's like Christmas morning right now for us. I think the batting cages are going up this morning. The scoreboard's going up this afternoon. So it's kind of cool to walk out there every day and see something new. But yeah, and I think that competitive part of that is there as well. I mean, I already know several places, Kickapoo, I think, is getting turf. I would not doubt in my mind at all that, when you see the Big 8 East and you see Aurora with turf, you see us with turf, you see Hollister with turf, that Catholic, Marshfield, those guys won't be far behind because it is such a competitive advantage. So I think facilities are just as competitive as the baseball on the field are.
Coach, with what you've got coming up, kind of getting into your conference schedule with Cashville, Forsyth, Mount Vernon, Marshfield, Hollister, Aurora, just back to back.
You could keep reading those. It doesn't get any better as you get through there. That's for sure.
Well, then you got Carthage, Park, and Catholic.
Yeah.
And then you finish out with Willard. Right now at this point of the season, are you guys relatively healthy?
For the most part, we had Ross Lawrence last night. He's got a little oblique injury, so he was trying to pitch through it last night. Just didn't throw well as Ross normally throws. He's obviously a big-time pitcher for us, and his stats speak for themselves over the last couple of years. But other than that, we've had a couple tweaks. We've had a couple pulls, but, we're relatively healthy. And we kind of had this on the schedule for about an 8-9 day rest for him. So we may shut him down and just try to get him as healthy as we can get him for our stretch run, going through the conference season, get him rolling.
Very good. Coach Ledl, always appreciate you being generous with your time. And, we look forward every time we can meet up with you at the tip or leadoff club at Pizza Ranch. I know you guys were there this week, I guess, or last week. And
it all blurs together, doesn't it?
It does. I mean, baseball season is so short. It's the shortest, spring season is the shortest season during the Misha High School athletic season. But,
it's crazy. It's a bunch of sprints wrapped up in one marathon.
It is indeed, and coaches have to be weathermen. And
I don't have to check the radar near as much as I used to. That's been pretty nice already.
You bet. Coach Ledl, thanks so much for your time here on the Missouri Sports Network.
Guy, thanks for having me, and thanks for everything you do. We really appreciate the coverage.
You bet. You're watching the Missouri Sports Network at MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. And as always, the Missouri State Highway Patrol remind us to take that 3 seconds and buckle up. It's 3 seconds that could save your life. Be safe, be smart, and be here tomorrow.
Step into the new when you drive a Chevy. It's time for a fresh approach and a new perspective. And find the Chevy that's right for you. Find new experiences, find new roads. Chevrolet.
I believe banking should make your life greater. It starts with affordable options to meet today's needs and tomorrow's dreams. From smart account options that fit your style to flexible loans for what comes next. It means convenient ways to access and manage your money whenever you need it and wherever you're headed. Most of all, it takes great support. Someone you can count on for trusted guidance and to be there for you every step of the way. Great options, great convenience, great support. For life. Great Southern Bank. Understanding what really matters.
Enjoy